Nebraska's 911 provider failed their promise to protect Nebraskans.
It's the finding from a scathing report by the Nebraska Public Service Commission into 3 emergency outages by Lumen in 2023. The Public Service Commission said 3 outages with 15 hours of service interruption was unacceptable. They said the contractor, Lumen Technologies, formerly CenturyLink, was less than forthcoming during the investigation. The report found Lumen was ignorant of its own network and was unwilling to test the system to find weaknesses. According to their experts, the system lacked diversity and redundancy that could have prevented 911 from going out. The bottom line from the commissioners: if the contractor can't provide the state with a reliable and modern 911 system, they'll look for someone who can. Lumen's contract with Nebraska runs through next January.